On June 3, 1980, at precisely 2:26 a.m., the phone rang in the bedroom of Zbigniew Brzezinski, the National Security Advisor to the President of the United States. The voice on the other end was cold, urgent, and terrifying. He was told that 220 Soviet nuclear missiles had been launched and were currently en route to the American mainland. Minutes later, the number jumped to 2,200. Brzezinski had less than 3 minutes to wake the president and decide whether to retaliate, effectively ending human civilization as we know it. But as he prepared to make the call, the alert was canceled. It wasn't a Soviet strike. It wasn't a human error. The world was nearly destroyed because of a single computer chip that had gone haywire inside a granite fortress in Colorado. A chip that cost exactly 46 cents. This is Cheyenne Mountain. Situated under 2,000 feet of solid granite, it is the most secure military installation on the planet. It was designed to survive a 30-megaton nuclear blast from as close as 2 kilometers and keep operating when the rest of the world has fallen into ash. But today, in 2026, the mountain hides more than just radars and missiles. Behind its 25-ton blast doors lies a secret that the Department of Defense has been trying to bury for decades. Only 1/3 of this underground city is actually used by NORAD. So who or what occupies the other 2/3? Today, we are going deep into the granite. We are investigating the ghost of the mountain, the redacted levels that even journalists aren't allowed to see, and the terrifying reality of what happens when the 46-cent chips of our world begin to fail. To understand why Cheyenne Mountain is a masterpiece of survival, we have to look at how it was built. In the late 1950s, at the height of the Cold War, the U.S. government realized that their command centers were too vulnerable on the surface. They needed a place that was hardened, a fortress that could withstand the direct pressure of a planetary holocaust. They chose a massive block of granite in Colorado Springs. The excavation was a Herculean task. Between 1961 and 1964, the Army Corps of Engineers removed nearly 700,000 tons of rock. They didn't just dig a tunnel, they carved out a subterranean city. Inside the mountain, there are 15 massive buildings, each 3 stories high. But here is the engineering marvel that makes Cheyenne Mountain unique. These buildings are not attached to the ground. They rest on a system of over 1,000 giant steel springs, each weighing half a ton. Why? Because a nuclear blast doesn't just bring heat, it brings a massive seismic wave. The mountain itself would shake like a bell being struck by a hammer. Without those springs, the buildings inside would shatter instantly. These shock mounts ensure that even if the mountain is hit, the electronics and the people inside won't move more than an inch. To enter the facility, you have to pass through 2 separate blast doors. Each door is 3.5 feet thick and weighs 25 tons. They're designed to seal airtight in 45 seconds, protecting the interior from nuclear, biological, or chemical contaminants. Once those doors are shut, Cheyenne Mountain becomes a self-sustaining island. It has its own power plant, a 6 million-liter water reservoir fed by a natural spring, and enough food to last for months. It even has its own fire department, a medical clinic, a gym, and a tavern known as the Granite Inn. It is a city built for one purpose: to witness the end of the world and survive it. But the history of the mountain isn't just about survival, it's about the terrifying precision of failure. Let's go back to that night in 1980. The 427M system, which had become fully operational just a year earlier, was supposed to be the most reliable warning system in history. It centralized dozens of databases to provide timely, unambiguous, and reliable warning. But in 1979 and 1980, the mountain generated 3 false alarms that nearly triggered World War III. The most famous was the November 9th incident, where a technician accidentally inserted a war game test tape into the live computer. For 6 minutes, the Pentagon screens showed 1,400 missiles approaching. Pilots were literally in their cockpits, engines running, waiting for the order to drop nuclear bombs on Moscow. Then came the June 3rd incident. This time, there was no test tape. The computers simply started reporting launches for no reason. Military staff analyzed the data and realized that while the NORAD screens showed an attack, the satellite sensors and radars were reporting all clear. The discrepancy saved the world. The culprit was later found to be a single integrated circuit, a chip worth less than 50 cents that had gone haywire inside a granite fortress in Colorado, a chip that cost exactly 46 cents. These events revealed a fundamental flaw in the granite citadel. You can protect a building from a 30-megaton bomb, but you cannot protect a system from its own complexity. The government established an off-site testing facility in Colorado Springs to prevent these bugs from reaching production again. But as we sit here in 2026, with AI-driven threat detection systems taking over, the question remains, are we still at the mercy of a 46-cent glitch? And if the mountain is so focused on external threats, why is it so secretive about what is happening internally? This is where the official narrative begins to crumble. If you look at the floor space of the Cheyenne Mountain Complex, a startling statistic emerges. According to Department of Defense reports, NORAD and the United States Northern Command, the organizations everyone associates with the mountain, occupy only about 30% of the facility. Furthermore, they account for a mere 5% of the mountain's daily population. So, who is using the remaining 70%? We know that the mountain hosts tenants like the Air Force Space Command, U.S. Strategic Command, and the NSA. But the activities of these groups within the mountain are highly classified and almost never discussed. Journalists who have been granted rare tours of the facility complain that the secrecy is almost suffocating. They report that during their visits, almost everything, from computer screens to even the keyboards, is covered with black shrouds. Any photographs taken are subject to immediate deletion if they capture so much as a stray pixel of a workstation. In 1979, the Space Defense Operations Center, or SPADOC, was established within the mountain to track every satellite and piece of debris in orbit. But researchers suggest that the space surveillance mission is only a cover for more exotic operations. There are persistent rumors of Zone 12, a section of the mountain that is completely off-limits even to most personnel with top-secret clearance. Some whistleblowers claim this area houses specialized antennas that are not tuned to Soviet missiles, but to high-altitude anomalies that the government officially denies exist. Why has much of the core mission been moved to Peterson Space Force Base on the surface, while the government continues to invest billions in the mountain? If the mountain is just a backup or a training center, as they claim, why is it the only high-altitude facility in the world certified to withstand a massive electromagnetic pulse, or EMP? The secrecy suggests that the Citadel isn't just a relic of the Cold War, it is a laboratory for the next one. As we navigate the geopolitical tensions of 2026, the relevance of Cheyenne Mountain has reached a new peak. The threat of nuclear war has been joined by the threat of grid collapse. A massive EMP attack, whether from a high-altitude nuclear burst or a solar flare, could fry the electrical grid of the entire North American continent in seconds. In that scenario, every phone, every hospital, and every car would stop working. Cheyenne Mountain is one of the few places on Earth designed to keep operating when the world outside collapses. Its walls of rock and steel, its internal springs, and its shielded corridors are a final line of defense. But the mountain's greatest secret might not be a weapon, but its role in the continuity of government plan. There are makeshift beds and suites for eminent officers tucked away in the mountain's upper levels. In the event of a national emergency, this mountain becomes the capital of a remnant United States. The ship inside the mountain, is essentially an ark designed to carry a selected elite through the storm of Armageddon. But there's a darker side to this survival. If the world outside is in chaos and the only functioning sensors and command structures are hidden under 2,000 feet of granite, who is actually in control? When the Stage 1 test of the algorithm happens in the real world, when a system has to decide between survival and destruction, can we trust the people inside the mountain to make the right call? Or are we still just one 46-cent chip away from a disaster that no amount of granite can hide? The truth is that Cheyenne Mountain has always existed on two levels. In reality, it is a monotonous, functional workplace, but in our collective memory, it is a symbol of the apocalypse. It is the place where America can make its last stand. And as long as those 25-ton doors remain ready to shut, we know that the government is preparing for a day they hope will never come. Cheyenne Mountain remains a jagged mystery in the landscape of national defense. It is a quietly active, quietly vigilant bastion that serves as both a symbol of our ingenuity and a monument to our deepest fears. It reminds us that sometimes the most advanced defense isn't the newest or the flashiest. It's the one designed to survive anything and keep functioning when everything else has failed. Every year, people go missing in national parks, and some of them are never found again. To learn more about this topic, check out our video now. If you don't want to miss more mysterious investigations like this, make sure to subscribe to the channel, leave a comment with your thoughts, and like the video to support our work.